met. Tonight we start off with the stars of Always, Patsy Cline at BDT Stage, Norrell Moore and Alicia Meyers. Hello, how are you, ladies?
Great, thanks. How are you?
So wonderful.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. So I saw the show the other night, and I loved it. It was just such a fun show, and it was so well done. I mean, both you ladies, and I mean, you just killed it as Patsy the whole entire time.
Thank you.
And we walked out. I've been listening to like Patsy Cline music for like the last week now.
Yeah. You want to keep it going.
Yeah, I want to keep the show. The show was so good, I never wanted to stop. I wanted to stay there the whole
Always.
night. Yeah, the always is for the time. No, but talk about the show. So tell us a little bit what it is, who you guys play in the show.
Sure.
I play Louise Seeger, who is an actual true live fan of Patsy Cline. They kind of have this quick rendezvous for a 24-hour period, and it's one of those connections where you meet that person and you just connect immediately. Yeah. It's kind of interesting because we actually have two very separate shows. Norrell has her show as Patsy Cline, and I have my show as Louise. And for a quick second, they kind of rendezvous, and in that quick second, we become tight, fast and furious. Yeah, it's really great.
And talk about playing Patsy.
It's been such a joy. I mean, to learn her style of singing, I just put her on repeat. And, you want to, give this homage to this woman who had such this fast and beautiful career that was cut so short. And she was such a talent. And I just want to do her justice. And so, we even say in the show, it was 6 years from the time she was on TV on the Arthur Godfrey show to the time of her death when she was 30 years old. So to take off that fast in, music, then and even today, is pretty spectacular. So I have loved seeing all of the patrons at the end of the night. I've actually been coming out and saying hello to people because I know this means so much to them. That generation of people, it's bringing back so many memories and really filling their hearts. So
it's a very cool feeling to sit, and as Louise, I get to sit and watch her every night, and then to be able to hear everybody in the audience just singing along. It's such a cool, unique experience.
It's magical.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
And you touched on, this is the music of the older generation, but I would say even younger audiences really connect with the show because
people still know
you still know
Crazy
these songs.
and
it's like, oh, that's
she's
you might
a classic.
not know that she sung that song, but you know those songs.
Absolutely.
And I think you mentioned to me one time like this was kind of the music you grew up with and you listened to a lot when you were young.
I'm actually from West Virginia. I was born in West Virginia. She was born and raised in Winchester, Virginia, where my brother was actually born. And so I've got that connection. My parents they're a little country. I'm from the country. I'm from a very small town. I grew up in an hour south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and so these are my roots.
Ironically, I'm from Houston, which is where Louise is from.
Yep.
I mean,
so it was destiny.
It is absolutely.
And now you co-directed the show with Michael Duran.
Sure.
This is a very popular show in Colorado. Ran at the Denver Center for 4.5 years, I believe.
Yes.
So talk about getting to direct the show and such a beloved show for Colorado audiences.
Yeah, I mean, it's again. I mean, I think what you have to look at it as these two very separate entities, and yet the whole show in its entirety is really about this relationship between these two women and how quickly they come to love each other
and how different their lives are.
Absolutely, and yet completely bond. It's just it's so very, very cool. So to capture all of that, I mean, to capture all three of those of those segments, and it's great. It's great to have the opportunity to be simplistic on stage. The set is really subtle, and yet it gives you absolutely everything. Having the band on stage is just it's such a huge asset. They're amazing and great. And and they bring us to life for sure. And so it's just really nice to pull all those pieces in and create this beautiful package.
Yeah, I feel like because it is such a simpler show, and the band's there, you guys get to connect with the audience.
Absolutely.
In a lot more way, because at times it's just like you're singing with Patsy.
Yeah.
Just, you're there in that bar watching her.
Yeah.
At times it feels like. Do you guys have a favorite part of the show, or favorite aspect of the show?
Act 2 got a little, at first it was hard, and then it got to be the easier one. Act 1 is the one that makes me so nervous.
Me too. Yeah. We often talk about how, especially at the beginning, when we are very much in separate you know, it's extremely nerve-wracking because you're kind of out there and you're completely isolated and you know, and then when we finally meet towards the end of Act 1, and it's kind of like we both, even though we can't necessarily rely on each other,
Right.
it's not like we could really help each other
Start
out.
to settle in.
But at least
and-
we're there for each other and we've got each other's backs, and it's just it's just a cool, unique experience. It just really is. Yeah.
Do you each have a favorite song of Patsy's that you guys get to do, or just a favorite Patsy Cline song in general?
My favorite moment of yours is Closer Walk with Thee.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
that-
just so tender and,
Cool.
and beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mine, I really love the end of Act 1, Lovesick Blues. I love that song. It's been super fun just to bring the house down,
Yeah.
you know, for just for intermission. And then when I sing 3 cigarettes in the ashtray
Yeah.
at her
Yeah,
at
you
her
know,
table,
that might be.
That's a fun moment.
It's so special. to
yeah,
me.
true. One of my favorite moments of us together, for sure. Sure, it's a great,
Yeah.
it's a great, great time.
Well, and I like I said, I loved the show top to bottom. The costumes I have to mention as well,
Right.
Because those costumes,
Linda just-
yeah, I would go on a
always-
diet for those costumes. Like, I really would.
She does they do a
She does,
fabulous,
yes.
her and Erica
Linda-
do
yeah.
a fabulous job
They
every
do.
time.
Yeah, and so many costume changes for you, Patsy.
That's all I do. I sing and I change. That's it. That's my show.
There's a lot more to it.
And I just talk and drink coffee.
So we're not even acting at that point.
No,
We're just
no.
hanging out. Well, very cool. Well, thank you both so much for
Thank
coming
you.
on.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
it was
us.
wonderful to have you guys. And be sure to check out Always Patsy Cline at BDT Stage, playing through the end of May.